Right, team, this is gonna be a big one. This is kind of a bold statement, but I genuinely believe that this new Seiko watch is the best Seiko in their arsenal. Seiko as a brand has always been a little bit of a weird one to me. I feel like there's so many options to choose between. There's so much variation that I kind of get that little bit overwhelmed. It's almost like going to a restaurant with your friends and there's too much food on the menu. And you look at the menu and you think, oh my God, what do I even do here? Honestly, Seiko as a brand released so many brilliant watches that some of them get lost in the plethora of watches that they release. But this model specifically, it caught my eye. And not only did it catch my eye, it is one of my favorites, if not my favorite Seiko at the moment. This new model is the brand new Shog-urai diver. And I'm definitely saying that wrong, so please don't grill me in the comments. I am heavily dyslexic. And I feel like it just brings the best of the samurai and the shotgun, merges it into one watch, and makes it fantastic. Welcome back to the Chisholm Hunter channel. My name is Harrison, as always. And in this video, we're going to be talking all about this brand new watch, everything that you need to know about this brand new watch. But before we start, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button, help a fellow watch nerd, watch enthusiast out, I would really appreciate it. This model comes in at 41.7 millimeters in diameter, and it comes in at 12.3 millimeters in thickness. It has a beautiful slender feel when it's on the wrist, and it wears like a dream. Now, Seiko as a brand typically make bigger watches, more bulky watches. That's kind of within their DNA, but I feel like this is more appropriate for slimmer wrists. And part of the reason for that is actually because of the darkened, hard-coated stainless steel case, making it look and feel black. Now, because of that black camouflaging color, remember that dark colors typically are camouflaging of size, it makes it look that little bit smaller on the wrist. Now, there are three variations of this watch to choose between. You do have the SRP-L11, the SRP-L13, and the SRP-L15. One of these watches does have this beautiful kind of burgundy red dial, and I'm sure I'll get this into the studio real soon, but for now, we just have this one. I need to say something to you guys really, really quickly. Something that you might not know is that the black dial with the black silicone rubber strap is actually exclusive to Chisholm Hunter. So if you want to have a closer look, then fire over to chisholmhunter.co.uk. That's chisholmhunter.co.uk. But what I wanted to say was, without you, this would not have been possible. I seriously need to thank you guys for all the support. The fact that we even get the opportunity of an exclusive Seiko model is because of you. So honestly, all the support from you guys it doesn't go unnoticed. And the impact that you guys have made on Chisholm Hunter as a business, but also on my life, is unfathomable. Unfathomable? Is that a word? Yeah, I think it is a word. You guys know what I mean. It's just incredible. So honestly, guys, just thank you so much for the support. And if you do want to take a closer look at this watch, head to chisholmhunter.co.uk. And on with the review we go. The lug for lug on this watch comes in at 49.5 millimeters. It obviously is in full stainless steel, and that stainless steel is darkened and it sheens and shines beautifully in the light. It still remains relatively heavy for just essentially the head of a watch, because the rubber strap weighs very little. It actually comes in at 100 grams. Taking a closer look at those lugs, we can actually see the DNA of the shotgun and the samurai reflected within those lugs, and also the kind of body of this watch. It does have a lot of the same DNA as those watches. The crystal used on this watch is actually Hardlex crystal, and you can see that it has a really, really slight dome to it, which makes this watch look that little bit more vintage to me. Now, where this watch really stands out to me, and I'm skipping a couple of key features here because I just love it so much, is in the bezel. The bezel clicks and the bezel action are as good, if not better, than Tudor. Yes, I said it. It's wild, it's bizarre. And actually, I brought my Seiko just to show you guys the difference. So this is the Seiko Peanuts, or the Snoopy Peanuts, and listen to the bezel action on this. It's good, but it's not the best. However, when we look at this one, firstly, so much more easy to turn. Secondly, so much more subtle and so much more movable. It feels almost like a well-oiled machine. It is honestly just, it's really quite killer, actually. I was very, very impressed with that. So when you look at the side of the bezel on this watch, it has really, really beautifully placed tiny, tiny teeth. It's more just grooved in a kind of texture, and it's very, very easy to turn. And that texture is actually the same texture that's reflected in the crown of this watch. That's a really nice little unison detail that only watch nerds will notice. Now, when you actually look at the numerals on the bezel, they're also in that darkened kind of almost black material, but weirdly, they don't lose any of their readability. They're still quite bright and highly readable. Now, when we move on to the rubber strap, we can see that it does have a black rubber strap. And the reason that I like this black rubber strap comparatively to the NATO strap, which I've actually got on this, is because, as you can see, a NATO strap typically slots under the back of the watch. Now, when you get a NATO strap that slots under the back of a watch, what that does is pushes the watch up off your wrist and makes it look a little bit thicker. This watch doesn't have that problem. Continuing to look at the rubber strap, you can actually see that it has the darkened stainless steel on the pin buckle there. So it's not like there's any variance between the stainless steel, normal stainless steel, and the darkened stainless steel. They've made it all in unison. They've made it all in dark stainless steel, which is quite nice. It makes it play quite nice. Also, when you look on the back of the rubber strap, you can actually see that it has kind of more of a textured feel to it. And this textured feel gives it more grip and kind of makes it more comfortable on the wrist. It's a really kind of nice touch here. I prefer divers personally with rubber strap because I feel like it pays homage to the diving model more than the stainless steel bracelet. So I do think that if you're going for a diver, I would go for the rubber strap. This watch is water resistant to 200 meters, and it actually sports the same crown to support this as the Seiko Samurai. It is kind of a really nicely textured crown, which is really easy to turn, and it is a screw down crown supported by crown guards. Before we move on to the face and a couple things that I'd maybe change on this watch, it's time for the wrist check. Please let me know in the comments what you have on your wrist today. I love seeing all the weird and wonderful watches that you guys have on. Honestly, this is the watch I was wearing, and I have been wearing it for about a week and a half, and I'm trying to make a point of wearing these watches for about a week before I review them, so that I can get a more rounded opinion about the timepieces before I just go ahead and film them. I think that's the best and most fair way of doing things. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Right, so now that the wrist check is out the way, let's dive into the face of this watch. So the face on this watch comes in a matte black color. Now, one thing that you will notice very, very quickly is between the 4 and the 5 mark, they've added a date window. Now, this date window is circular and it is quite small, I have to say. If it was me, I would maybe have made that a little bit bigger. Typically speaking, I do need glasses. I hate the prospect of contact lenses and putting something in my eye. I've kind of tried to steer clear of that, so my eyesight's not amazing, and I would struggle to see that date window without my glasses. So I think that could be that little bit bigger, in my opinion. The hour markers in the hands are angular, and they're filled with a tanned kind of beigey superluminova. Now, this superluminova is really impressive. It shines bright blue, and honestly, I was taken aback with how good the superluminova is on a £520 watch. It's pretty crazy, and actually, it definitely challenges watches that are way above its price bracket. When we flip this watch round, you can see that it definitely has a more kind of glossy feel to it on the back of this watch, and it is engraved with a couple of patterns and a couple of things that you can see on the back. We'll show you it at the moment. Now, I am a fan of open case backs, but I know, again, I keep saying personal preference, but it's just a personal preference thing. I prefer open case backs. Some people prefer closed case backs. This model does have a closed case back, and behind the closed case back is the Caliber 4R35. This is a fully automatic movement with 41 hours of power. It also has 23 joules. I just feel like this new Seiko model is genuinely the best of everything that makes Seiko as a brand. Well, not everything that makes Seiko as a brand, specifically the Samurai and the shotgun. They've come together, they've had a baby, the baby's better, it's outgrown, it is the new king of Seiko's arsenal, in my opinion. And yes, I might be shot for that, but that is genuinely the way I feel. And if you guys agree, please let me know in the comments. And on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this Chisholm Hunter video, please consider hitting that subscribe button, or head over to our Instagram at Chisholm Hunter Watches and drop us a follow, or my Instagram at HB Lifelens, where I do photography, and drop me a follow on there, or head over to our Into the Mind podcast. That is the Into the Mind podcast, and that's where we talk to some really incredible people, especially in the watch industry, actually. We've had Adrian Barker, we've had Jan, who's the CEO of Doxa, we've had the CEO of Christopher Ward, some really cool people. I'm going to go enjoy this watch a little bit more, and I'll see you guys real soon.